Shalom Israel. Fairly quick video. Giving all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakai Kadash, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, double honors to the apostle, elder bishops, great millstone. Most salutations to the brothers teaching the word for the hopeful elect, soon to be elect, most high will, to the hopeful extended elect. Multitude, shalom, blessing, men, women, and children. Trying to make this edifying. The Western, there are no virgins in the Western world. I'm going to call this, there are no virgins in the Western world. And it's basically a meaning to that, because you might have a few, But one thing is that, you got to be truthful about the scriptures, even with hard topics. GMS, bears no shame dealing with hard topics, because a lot of Western world is so, Christianized and not according to the right Christianity. But they do all kind of adultery and idolatry and perversion here, even bestiality. So hypocritical nation. One thing also, is sexual intercourse is kind of taboo over here in America, especially at your young age, because really America has been dumbed down. Children's been dumbed down, and then you'll have a woman trying to protect her daughter and keep her from laying with men, and she'll become a lesbian, or she'll become even more perverted, because she'll find anything for satisfaction if a man can't lie with her. That's known to be the truth. We'll find a real key fact dealing with this matter and the hard topic. And we know it's two type of versions. One is Bothwala and the other is Ilama. One is a young maiden, married, was a woman of marital age. The other one is actually not, had laid down with a man. So this is how we know that the scripture is true, and that these people are trying to avoid these hard topics, because for one, these women are very, they feel abused, they feel overtaken or taken advantage of anyway by not being able to be a man, or at a man's status, for one. Being on another man's level, being on a man's level as far as strength, as far as competitive in the job market, competitive in the world, as far as building, this world, hammer and nail, so to speak. So, we'll go to this. Now, when TV, there was nobody on TV but so-called white people, a lot of so-called white shows, Edomite shows, I believe she might be a Jake, but, like any other show, if you're a young man and coming into your, I guess they call it puberty, get into your age to where you looking at women like, damn, she's pretty. Jake, in the time of his era, especially in the 80s, because that many popular TV shows wasn't out. It really, for Jake, it hit in the 90s. You had groups and all that, but it wasn't publicized. You had entertainment groups, singing groups, rap groups, but it wasn't publicized to the late, well, I would say, it gained real popularity with all over the world, I would say, in the 90s. So you had all these TV shows. I can name them, man. I've seen them, because you go outside and play, when you're a kid, and then you come back in and get some water, and then sometimes, when it's a late night on a weekend, you watch TV. I used to watch the Apollo, used to watch Good Times and all that. But Jake started to be attracted to these women And I used to, this is Wonder Woman. I used to be attracted to Linda Carter, which played Wonder Woman. Hell, the one even in Brady Bunch Marsha, because they women. We attracted to women. So that's easily, it could be a woman from another nation. We could be attracted to it. That's just a man. Uh, so, and she's a good actress. She played in a show called Family Ties along with Michael J. Fox. He was known for the popular role in Back to the Future. And, you could see she's a pretty woman. She could easily be Northern Kingdom, But this is her now right here. And she's still a pretty woman, but she's not as pretty as she used to be. When age comes upon you, you're not as, so she'll be, especially if she's like 60 or 70. Now, they call them cougars, and she can easily be a cougar to a young man, but a young man still enjoys his youth and other youthful female partners, So that's why with women, they have something called a biological clock. And then also your menopause stage, I guess, I had to learn more about, not that I need to, but, when a woman's 40 into her 50s, she becomes where she can't have children no more. So she don't have her cycle no more, So a lot of stuff is happening when they're young, a lot of emotions and all that, and a lot of, feelings and all that. So especially when they have their cycle. And most of the time when a female has started having controversy with her mother, it's usually at the age of 12 when she starts having a cycle, 12 or 13. And so a lot of females at that age ran away. A lot of them ran away and got pregnant. Now, this is the American version of, and I'm talking about not virgin, but version of marriages. It's out of order, So she'll run away and get pregnant by a man and then come back to her parents like, yeah, I messed up. Or I got a baby coming in. Oh, shit. And they're putting stress on us and all that. So it's like, nobody really has money, especially if a family doesn't have money. And even a family that does have money, they don't really want the burden of taking care of a child. So some of them become suicidal. Some of them dump their babies in the trash. Some of them keep the baby and, move out their their parents' crib, get with the man, what have you. And then they start having problems because she's so young and all that. So, I'm just giving you a kind of painting a picture of a rundown how it usually goes in America with young marriages or young connections. So, and really, I didn't ever think about how old she was. I thought she was just pretty. She's older than me, but at the time, and she's not. I don't think she's too much older. I think she's 10 years older than me. So if I was 8 or 9, she was, 19 or whatever. But like I said, she's a fairly pretty woman. Her brother is known too as an actor. So, and then I looked up what famous celebrities are known to get pregnant at 13, at a young age. Well, your Queen of Soul, she got pregnant when she was 12 years old. Let me see. Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin gave birth to her first child, a son named Clarence, in 1955 at the age of 12. She later had her second son, Edward, at the age of 14. Her second son at the age of, now, she's a star. She's very well taken care of by the industry At that time, I don't know how if she had a record out or whatever, but most of them do. Like, like even the women of the young women of the '90s, Aaliyah, Monica, Brandy, they were all young. They had platinum albums or whatever you at that time. So they were very well taken care of financially. So it wasn't no problem. But, a lot of them go overlooked or they're not talked about because when you're an actor, especially if you're an actor or actress, you don't suppose, they don't want you to have a baby. They don't want you to get pregnant because it'll mess up, the show that you're on or your career. Like if you're a singer or whatever. So a lot of them don't have children because of that reason. And when they do, they start to kind of like at their older age or maybe in their 40s, 30s or 40s, they'll start to retire or they'll, put their children in the Hollywood game. So, so it's very common. It's very common that they get pregnant at a young age. So I wanted an example of the scripture concerning David, King David. Now I asked, how young was the virgin that King David was found for him? A damsel brought to King David in his old age was Abishag, the Shunammite. Hopefully I'm not butchering. Biblical texts describe her as a beautiful young virgin, and scholars estimate she was approximately 12. This is at his old age, approximately 12 to 14 years old. You're like, those people were crazy back then. Those men were crazy. Those Eastern world men were. He had a heart after the Most High's heart. He was a king, and he's going to be king again. What are you saying? And he was the very father of Solomon, which was a king. And what? King Solomon had 1,000 women. So that was common. This is a common thing. 12 or 14. Now it says he was at his old age, he was 70 years old. 70 years old. Now let me get the scripture. Hey, 1 Kings 1 and 2. Well, we might as well go to 1. Now King David was old and stricken in his years. He was old and stricken. That means he, like it said, he probably was 70 years old. I don't know. Hopefully I'm reading it right. And the apostles know. And they covered him with clothes, but he got no heat. Wherefore his servant said unto him, let there be sought for my lord the king a young virgin, and let her stand before the king, and let her cherish him, and let her lie in thy bosom, that my lord the king may be great, may get heat. So they sought a fair damsel throughout all the coasts of Israel, and found Abishag a Shunammite, and brought her to the king. And the damsel was very fair, and cherished the king, and ministered to him. But the king knew her not. So going back, I asked Google, but it's a common thing, so we know. Now, even with mentioning Aretha Franklin, she got pregnant at 12. They don't mention how old her man was. He could have been her producer, which he definitely was older, just like with Monica, who was at Dallas Austin, he was older. I think he's like 10 years older. But people think that's a stretch in this American world. But back in the Bible, King David was 70 years old. Now, he wasn't decrepit like that today because, 70, America has the worst diet, probably the worst diet, in the world. And the stress factor in the world. So people really get old. That was a thing back then. Now people are eating better. They going to the gym. So you would have a 70-year-old looking like a creepy ass man, But today, 60 and 70 is, you can look, pretty still youthful if you take care of yourself. So, but that's the makeup of America, how they paint the picture of an older man like he's just creepy. He got gray hair, that's creepy. Yeah, that's nasty. Because you know what? The separation of the fathers have taken place. If a woman stayed with her father and grew up under her father, and she saw her father that she loved, and he got gray hair, and she loved her father, she would do the same. She would see the same for a man that she got with, as a sign of wisdom and beauty, so to speak, in the eyes of a spiritual man. But now, it's looked down upon, and it says that in scriptures, they don't honor the hoary head. So, and even with the grape factor, when they put it out there on the news, they talk about, they always paint a picture of this creepy guy that's hiding in trees and shit, and no one can find him. He could be under your bed and all that, like he's a fucking monster. And really, I've never really heard them. They'll probably say they caught a guy, but I don't see that. I didn't used to hear that rapidly in the news back then. It was just like every now and then. And I think that was probably the inside work of the elites for control purposes. Same thing with the AIDS epidemic, and same thing with the condoms and all that, so Israel won't multiply. Same thing with what they have it, contraceptives, and women being able to tie their tubes, and being able to take pills and abortion clinics. They got abortion clinics, man. So they were definitely doing a number on Israel, depopulation. So that's the same thing with, advertising the elderly as creepy men. Yeah, they just want the box, and they're over sexual and all that. Meanwhile, these devils are setting up porn places and all that around this place, man. And all kind of perversion and shit around this place. And those haven't been, invaded for investigation and all that. The rats, small hats, haven't been investigated for their criminal acts. In the Talmud, read it your damn self, man. You can marry a 3-year-old girl, man. You see, that's why the Most High is gonna get rid of you hypocrites, man. He's gonna get rid of you damn demonic hypocrites. Because you will come at the prophets, but then you got all this other evil madness around you that you want to address. You want to address Hollywood. You want to address the sodomites in Hollywood. This is the fucking Pride Month, and you want to address shit about that. You want to address Hollywood. They sacrificing children. That they're Elvis. He had a young girl. Who was that? Epstein filed. They want to sweep that under the rug. Focus on Diddy. And everybody that was at his party. Who else? Elvis, and it was Woody Allen. I think his name is Woody Allen. He married like a 6-year-old girl or something. And we ain't even for that BS. It's a woman of marital age, and it's a dwell with him according to knowledge, and dwell with him according to the law. When she plashed the flower of her age, man. And like I said, when a young female get pregnant, her body develops quickly. For breastfeeding, she developed the qualities of being a mother. The instincts of being a mother. She grows up real quick. But nobody was talking about Janet Jackson, how she had a crush on JJ and shit. or Diana Ross when she had a crush on Michael Jackson, or any of this BS that happens in Hollywood and shit, man. Hollywood is, hey, nobody talks nothing about that, because this world is wicked itself, man. They wicked themselves, man. It says warn the wicked. So, was there anything wrong with David that had his version? Nope. Did it say the Most High hated David because he had had laid down with a virgin in his bed? No. Did it say in the scripture that Most High was mad at Solomon because he had laid with many women? No. It said he followed the women and their gods. So, and then you got all this madness of twerking and all that with little girls in the video and shit. And you got little girls doing it too. And everybody want to think that's funny and laughing and shit. Meanwhile, the girl is only 4 years old. She got on makeup. She got a purse. She's got her hand on her hips. No humbleness at all. And it says that that should be a proverb. So like the mother, like the daughter. Nobody's saying anything about how Beyonce is raising Blue Ivy and shit. She's following right into that footsteps of her mother, whorism and witchism, being a witch. So that's why the Most High is going to destroy 2/3 of our people, man. Anybody outside the elect, Most High is going to destroy. Anybody with a Western mind, the Most High is going to destroy. And with the Western customs, Most High is going to destroy, straight up. Because the Western customs are not the customs of Israel. And it's evil. It's against the Most High. And it sounds like, you want to try to make sense out of it. Well, even with women, I don't want to get married and I don't want to have sex until I get married. Who gonna wait for that, man? Tell me one man is gonna wait for your ass, to get you after fucking marriage, man. After papers and all that, and going to court and getting the preparation of the marriage and all that. Meanwhile, you at the crib with a shirt, t-shirt, and panties on and shit. Y'all don't make no damn sense at all, man. No logic at all, man. Yo, give it up, man. Put the Bible down and give it up, man. Give up Christianity, man. Because you don't make no damn sense, man. And then they got all these new rappers, women are strippers and shit, and nobody said nothing about that. Oh, she's beautiful. Let her get her flowers. She came from a damn strip club, man. And her mother and her father says nothing about it. I don't know, like, going back to the T.K. Kirkland, who raised you? Where are these parents at, man? They got so much to say about GMS, and not even thinking, y'all, that applies to y'all too. Before you blame your brother, consider the plank in your eye. Y'all got a plank in your eye because you don't consider what is before you, the law, statute, commandments, and apply them into your life. You just want to read the scriptures and not do the scriptures. You want to talk about, tell your daughter or your niece to be a Christian, but you won't tell her to put on some damn clothes, man. Yeah, man. Y'all gonna be destroyed with fire, nuclear fire, man. I'm so glad Most High has that as a judgment, man. I'm so glad. I don't give a damn if I'm here when the missiles drop. If I gotta go, I gotta go with the wicked. Hey, Samson said that. Hey, give me a little strength so I can knock these pillars down to come up on these Philistines and shit. I don't even care if I die with them. The hell with these damn heathens and their customs, America. Yeah, America's gonna get it. They got it. They got a Senate a judgment for them, specifically for them, America, specifically for this harlot, man. Y'all think the Most High is a joke? That's why them chariots up there waiting for the Most High to call things on, man. Because it is a wicked ass place, man. The Western mentality of these devils, man. No, we separated from the East. Independence, 1776, July 4th is coming up. That's what it's for. Jake out there popping like he was a part of that. They are ready to deport you, put you to death, raise a race war, whatever they could do to get you off, put you down under, man. Anyway, hopefully it was edifying. To the next video. Shalom.